That's what
Lord, it's like this type of video you need to pray every 5 seconds so you don't say the wrong thing.
is that it might be a backhanded attempt at like making more
a
of a mockery of
Yep.
Christianity and of being like,
I don't care about y'all stepping on trends. It's like God, Jesus is not a trend. He is God.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Logged Off Podcast. It's your host Johnny and
Juwan,
and we have
just Ashley Keaton from
Just-
the podcast.
just Ashley Keaton. If you guys have noticed, we've been collaborating a lot. We actually pre-recorded a video last night about oneness versus Trinity, and that went wild. That was
gonna be out,
that was awesome.
tomorrow.
Out tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
check that
please
out. It
feel
got
free
pretty
to
heated.
check that out. But yeah, we're gonna discuss a few topics today. Apparently, we're gonna go ahead and react to a video with, you said, Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X.
So we're gonna go ahead and look it up right now. All right, so this is apparently the video that Ashley's speaking about. I have no idea what this is gonna be about. Volume.
The lonely road seems to last the longest. Help me with my plans. Everything seems to go to nowhere. Free me from worry and want and pity. Free me from all this envy in me. I don't want these feelings. I don't want these feelings. I call on angels. I'm trying hard to face my pain, yeah. Give me hope when I feel. Give me hope when I feel less. Angels, I'm trying hard to keep my faith, yeah. Father,
Stretch my hands.
That's what Lord. It's like this type of video you need to pray every 5 seconds so you don't say the wrong thing.
yeah. Right off the bat, there's so many things I think we could touch on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to start on a positive note. I come from a background where I listened to a lot of different types of music, and the first music I ever listened to was rock. And so, just in terms of sonically, I wasn't mad with where it went sonically. If we're
Right.
just strictly talking sonic
Yeah.
frequencies.
That's the part that's so crazy because it's got a nice sound to the song.
No, for sure, for
great.
sure.
If I didn't
Yeah.
see that video, I'll be like, I would just download it and pray to
Like
it.
the seed.
I cannot. I'm just too confused. I wouldn't be able to download this and listen to it just because I saw the video. It's just too much going on in my brain to where if I tried to pray with this song, I would be thinking about this man with the long hair and the Pentecostal 90s Pentecostal outfit. And you want to give him grace, but it's too many schemes going on in the music industry
Yeah.
for you to be able to just be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, whoever that dude is, Lil Nas X, I have the same love for him as I have for any other, person that I'm ministering to. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, if your song is promoting truth, I don't think it's any reason why you can't listen to it and pray to it. But me personally, I have this conviction because I've seen that video. Even if I saw your name, because you've made a mockery of certain things, you've made a mockery of God, then this to me, I can only assume, and obviously I could be wrong, but I can only assume that if you have the garment of a woman on while you're singing a gospel song, then there's still you can at least say there's a process that hasn't taken place yet.
Right.
You could say God touched your heart and you want to step into you mind, the tag said, you mind if I step into my Christian error? I'm like, if you actually step into Christianity, then you can do that. Yeah, that's what he said, Nakia.
Yo, Nakia said, what? Wait, no, she said, wait. I did not know that he was supposed to be a Christian. Look, like
He ain't a-
I didn't know that either, and so that's like what Ashley said. That's a lot of what I thought as well. Is just like we can't what we
I
can't
can't
do
even.
what we can't do is say we know what's going
Right.
on in his life and in his heart,
Right.
but what we can do is look at what fruit he's been producing, and kind of like you said, there's that context to it where I'm kind of torn while I watch this because it's like part of me is like, well, I want to be charitable and hope that this is his attempt.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like Ashley said, there's so many different schemes that it's kind of hard to really tell what's going on because it might be him trying to grab lukewarm Christians, right?
She
Because
said
there's
she
a
wanna
lot of
look at the
Christians. I
lyrics.
used to be like that where it's like, as soon as I heard somebody mention God, I'm like, oh, okay, they might be Christian.
Right.
And this we could really take this into the area of Christian hip hop because there's certain things that I feel a little way about in Christian hip hop because sometimes it'd be stuff like, bro, what are you really promoting right now? Like, is it really Jesus?
Right.
But with this, like, definitely what he's wearing is a little
Well,
like
his mannerisms there too. Yeah.
his mannerisms. It felt awkward.
Yeah.
It felt like a little bit forced in some ways in terms of the video.
Yeah.
The lyrics, like when I'm looking at lyrics, I'm a big lyrics guy. I think some of what he was saying is interesting. Like it kind of echoes
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes. Like he's saying everything is going nowhere.
Yeah.
That's like those are themes that you can find in Ecclesiastes. He's saying he
Yeah.
wants pity and things like that.
Well, he wants to be freed from it, freed from envy
Right.
and feelings that he doesn't want.
He also says, so these are the lyrics. Father, stretch my hands. When you just have a phrase, it's like I don't know what that means, especially because of who's singing it. Even if, like, Father, stretch my hands. Like I don't know. Now I have to go look up if that's something demonic or is that something that God said. Or you just freestyling trying to say something? Because what does that mean? Father, stretch my hands. But the
I've
lonely
wondered
road.
that ever since Kanye dropped his Father Stretch My Hand song. I'm like, what does that mean?
Oh, I didn't hear that one. The lonely road seems to last the longest. Help me with my plans. That don't sound like something God would do. That was the first red flag I saw in the song.
Yeah.
But I know people write songs and sometimes they just write stuff. So it's just like with this one, it's like I still feel like he's not doing enough for me to even give him attention really. I mean, we're reacting to it, but to like really get inside his space to see what's going on, like it's like I would mostly ignore, what he has going on as a Christian response. Like just like we're a podcast talking about it for a reason, but me personally in my own life, like the only reason I would even look at this is to talk about it, to bring up the Christian perspective, because I don't want to be like, feeding too much into it, posting a comment, I'm just like, you're not doing enough for me to care right now.
Right.
Not to say not care about your soul, but to care about what you got going on. Like, I don't know you yet.
Well, I think we have to like know, and that's a problem that a lot of Christians have is knowing our place. And when I say knowing our place, I just mean each person respectively. Our place, none of us have a place in Lil Nas's life of influence. So like at the end of the day, we could beat him over the head with the Bible right now, or we could be like, oh, this is fire, and doesn't really make a difference in his life.
Yeah.
But rather, like you said, we can provide perspective. And so for me, my perspective, my personal stance on this is I just genuinely hope that he does get touched by the Lord, because I know when I started walking with the Lord, there were still some things in my life, and I continue to be refined and sanctified, but there's some things that were very wrong in my life that I didn't realize. Like had to break that cycle of pornography. I was still smoking weed a lot, so there was certain things that I had to break. And so I can't necessarily say that he wouldn't come like have a real experience with God and that be a process for him to start realizing, I can't dress like this and I can't do these things, especially with his platform. So to me, it's just a cause to continue to pray and put him in prayer, like add him to the prayer list,
Right.
along with some other
I would agree to
celebrities.
that. For me, I would agree. Like I can't say anything. The lyrics are a little weird, but I can't expect anything more because one, he hasn't come out publicly, to my knowledge, about anything related to Christianity, Jesus, and all that, aside from just making that weird dance pole video. But
It's hard to come back from that one. Ain't gonna
right.
Ooh,
But
it's a real Saul Paul moment right there.
yeah, for real.
Real transformation.
But
You know what I mean? God, that's different. But like for your fan base, saying like you're a Christian, they're like, that's like you stole from me, and I'm just like, hey, I'm a real giving person now. I wrote a check to the church for $1,000. It's like, I'm gonna pray on you, bro. I'm gonna keep that in prayer. You're not coming in my house. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, and for me, the benefits that I see this is, one, this is gonna start conversations about Christianity, and is gonna start, getting people to start thinking, oh, okay, God, Jesus, like,
It could have been a way to start conversation about him.
that's true.
You got Lil Nas X, you got Kanye West, you got Justin Bieber, you got Snoop Dogg. He came out with a gospel album.
Oh, really?
Everybody dropping their gospel.
I never listened to that joint.
Yeah, he had Tone in there, and Tone. I don't know if y'all know Tone. He calls himself B Slade now, so he went gay. It was a Christian gospel singer that went gay. And then Snoop Dogg brought him. In a lot of the Christian albums, they talk about, how the church hurt us so bad. It's like, bro, the gospel message, though.
Right.
Like, where is that? Like, we get it. Like, you felt some type of pain.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, well, actually, going to what Nakia says, stretch my hands equals stretch my influence. So how you said, it could get us talking about him, which we are.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point would be to just kind of direct everything towards Jesus, and how, as Christians, we can react and assess the situation, which Juwan brought up. Like, we need to be in prayer for Lil Nas X and everyone who has influence, to have their souls be saved.
Yeah, and what I would say too is, like, this is strictly directed to Christians. If you proclaim Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you say that you're a disciple of His, meaning that you follow Him in discipline, and you feel like this is like something that you're supposed to add into your rotation, or you think that this is something where now all of a sudden you're gonna start following Lil Nas's journey and like see everything that he posts, or like I love the analogy that Ashley just gave. It's like, invite him into your home, because that's what you're doing when you start to listen to certain things. Your diet is very, very important, especially spiritually. I would say that you're in error, and I would really give you a caution of warning and say, hey, listen, like, that's getting dangerous, because one step might not seem like that big a deal, but a little by a little, and a little becomes a lot, so it's not something that you should take in. But as a Christian, if you want to be up on it and know, okay, he did this, like, that's the only reason we're doing it. Now it's something that we can address with other people. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't add this into the rotation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that just comes with discernment.
I think that one thing I wanted to say before y'all go to the whole cannabis topic, he said on the tagline of his post, y'all mind if I step into my Christian era. Now that to me sounds like a trend. And then therefore it's like, all right, like, I mean, I don't know how else to take it. Like, what do you mean step into your Christian era? Why would a Christian, I mean, I guess you're talking to all your fans. Like, do we mind if you do a dance on the devil? It's like, I mean, it doesn't affect me. Like, do you mind if you allow yourself to do that and get tricked by the enemy? Like, I feel bad that you allowing that to happen to yourself, but do we mind if you step into your Christian era? I don't care what you do, but we don't care about trends. It's like, I'm not a Christian. It kind of minimizes the position of a Christian to put it in an era. Like, what do you mean? This is life. This man died for your sins. It would be something like, do you mind if I step into my my father's legacy for a minute? It's like, wait a minute, this man built a whole legacy for you. You talking about do you mind if I step into it for a minute? What do you mean? What Like he built a whole legacy for you to live out. To be he you know, like the people that came before us in work environments went through some really harsh work environments, and then the building got built a lot better. It's like, man, it used to be a lot harder when I was y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Like I have to we got AC in here now, you know what I'm saying? So to just minimize it to just an era.
King David didn't have AC.
I think it's a trend. I think he's jumping on the bandwagon to get views. I mean, could I be wrong? I mean, obviously, I could be wrong, but if I had to guess, man, that's what I would say. I think it's a trend.
Yeah, it's the whole Christian era for me. Like, it'd be different if he was like, if I were to step into a Christian lifestyle, then it's like, okay, maybe he's trying. But when you say era,
like a phase or something.
Yeah, like era is just a certain section of time and not for the rest.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like,
you didn't say Jesus in the song. Like,
to me, it kind of like when you mention that that's what he put as the caption. To me, I almost could see how you could take it, because I'm kind of taking it this way in a way, is that it might be a backhanded attempt at making more of a mockery of Christianity, and of being like, watch how I just did all this foolishness. And then when I say, let me step in my Christian era, I'm going to have all these Christians rooting for me now. But like, not just rooting for me, but pushing, right? Because there'll be a difference if someone tried to pull him in to disciple him privately. Yeah. They said, no, we're not finna do all these lights and cameras. We're going to get in this word. We're really going to talk about what's going on. Right. We're going to, test you on this and see if you really want to adopt what the word is actually saying. That'd be a different story. But to me, it feels like his way of kind of pushing that mockery. And that's again why it's like, as a Christian, we can't be just foolish and taking this in and be like, oh, he's like, that's a problem. And that's why we have the whole conversation, and I feel like we have to do it again on like Christians and listening to, I don't like to say just secular music because that's too broad, but looking at the content of music and taking it for what it is. Mm-hmm. And with this and what its origin is, you can't justify it. You can't just be like, yeah, Lil Nas is Christian now. That's a win for us, man. Christianity's cool.
Who is his father? Who is his God? Even when Drake made the song God's Plan, it's like, that whole video was really talking about the God of money, visually speaking. Like, you're giving money to all these people saying God's plan. You never gave them a Bible. You never prayed for them. Money solved their problems. So by that video, God was really money. And I didn't see any God. Like, I don't care about y'all stepping on trends. It's like God, Jesus is not a trend. He's a person that died for people's sins, and they're taking it really lightly. Yeah. So, I mean, I ain't got no problem with Drake. I mean, I don't even know how much of that song video concept he actually had anything to do with. But am I taking it as a Christian song? No. Am I playing that at my birthday party? No.
Nah.
I'm not playing Drake God's Plan.
Nikia
says, know what God he talking about.
Nikia says basically his marketing department knows he gets views when they've played on Christian concepts and keeps him in the news. This is the same thing. I would agree, but also it's just the sad part that like I could see someone inviting him to their church on this.
Oh, like, if he be performing this at churches, bro, I'm be like, yo,
I could see it happening. Then that's a testament to like how far off like a lot of Christians and churches are at this point.
And don't mishear us. It's not that we don't want him to be in the church. We just don't want, like what Juwan is getting at, I'm assuming, is like the church is willing. There's churches that are willing to give him a platform already.
Right.
Versus, come in to be disciple, like how you mentioned earlier.
Like the easiest way I can give it to someone who's secular, and it's not a good comparison at all, but it's like set repping. It's like I can't just walk into a gang neighborhood and be like, I'm banging, and they're going to be looking at me like, fam, you don't know nothing about what we do.
Yeah.
You don't even know the protocol. Right. Like, you know what I mean?
You're not about to go with us and do this. Like, you sitting at, you doing something else. You're not ready for what we doing. Putting Lil Nas X on the front line of Christianity because he made a song. It's like, bro, anybody who puts him on his stage is selling out. Even if he's serious.
Mike Todd.
If he's serious, bro. Yo, if
man,
Mike Todd
coughed.
if Mike Ty put this man on his stage and say, why don't we have understanding for that? What? Well, he on your stage
With
though.
his two little locks hanging.
Like you can make a message and pull him into your church or community like that dude did Justin Bieber, but at the same time, like why is Justin Bieber performing on your stage already?
Right.
Say, wait a minute, is he ready for that?
I think that's
He
what
literally
messed
just
up
talked about that
Kanye
yum
too.
yum, and now y'all got him singing about Jesus. I was like, bro, nah, I can't do that. You got to sit down and be humble like the rest of us.
No,
This Jesus ain't the same thing as the music industry.
It's not. It's not.
it's not.
Yeah, man.
And you're right. That happened to Kanye too.
It
You're
happened to
absolutely
Kanye,
right.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
and then look what they, and then that's where these false prophets or false teachers come in, and then they try to take that. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with Kanye. Like he's he was searching. He truly was trying to be for the Lord, and then a false teacher came into his life.
Yeah.
And started misguiding him. And all that.
I think that could have been the case. I think also again that's why it's like bruh, like I try to give grace even though I have like bones that I could pick with a lot of Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
I try to have grace because it's its own battle in itself having a platform.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just its own battle because now there's like you always gotta wonder if there's an ulterior motive for why somebody's coming to talk to you and trying to spend time with you. You're like, is it because I have influence or is it because you genuinely care? And so when I look at somebody like Wande, all I think about her is, dang, I really need to be praying for her because she probably doesn't know who's really trying to do what.
Right.
And it could be a easy mistake that she can make that everyone tries to crucify her because she has
Yeah.
so many eyes on her.
Right.
So it's like, for them, they have even bigger platforms. So,
Yeah.
for someone like Kanye, he had so many eyes on him and he had people coming at him in ways that they shouldn't have for Christ. And it might have been true, but that makes it hard for him to be able to parse through everything because it's like, well, this person's saying I'm good, this person's saying I'm in the middle, this person's saying I'm bad. Which one is it? And then somebody can just come in and take advantage because they have that proximity that we don't have, which is again why I agree with what Ashley was saying. It's like what we don't have an influence there, so we have no right. Same thing with the Kat Von D thing. We don't need to be going on there and saying your knuckles didn't get submerged, you're not baptized. It's like, bro, like if you really are that worried about her not being baptized and you genuinely think she wasn't baptized properly, pray that she does. Like, what kind of God do we serve?
Let's just make sure we keep them in prayer. All these artists that we mentioned and everyone who with influence.
Yeah. X marks the
Now,
Lil
lastly, I
Nas.
do want to say what Nakia said because this is extremely key in everybody's lives. She says, but also people have a responsibility. If you're searching for truth, God will lead you. But if your search isn't authentic, that will show as well. I believe that wholeheartedly because there's so many people that say they're searching and they reject the truth, which is what it says in Romans 1 versus like when I was in that, I was looking into New Age. I was looking into all that stuff. And when Jesus revealed himself, I was like, this is the truth. Like, so that's completely factual.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all's input.
Yeah,
for
that's
real
why
in the chat.
I always tell people who like I want to really know God, I want to know him, and it's like, well, you actually have to mean it. And God says it in his word, he only comes to those who humble themselves. That means you have to drop everything, your ego, what you want to believe in, this and that. Like you got to realize how much lower you are compared to God. And that's how God can reveal himself to you. That's why usually those who have those conversions and actually come to Christ tend to do it through a rock bottom circumstance.